We got the full band back together for Off and On the Clock today. John is back from his European travels. We're going to talk some camp risers. Nez has some predictions. We've each been kind of thinking about who are the guys we want to target now before they get too expensive. And then we're going to get back to our Eliminator roots. It's been too long since we've ripped an Eliminator draft. All that and more today on Off and On the Clock. I'm Pete Overzet with John and Nez. All right. Welcome back, John. Welcome back. As someone who also did a quick trip to Europe, the lifestyle of just drinking beers and, near the canal and these cafes at like 1 p.m. and then coming back to this, it's a hard transition, isn't it?
Speak for yourself, Pete, because I already cracked a couple cold ones here and getting the day started. Right. Just No, yeah. You grow accustomed to a certain standard of life there where you're, patios, tapas, all this sort of thing. I love me some European culture. It really brought me back. Nez and I were talking offline a little bit there of just like the lack of screens, just kind of like people on patios chatting to one another, having a croissant, a cafe, a smoke, and a beer. It's just, it's organic human culture. Almost going back like 10, 15 years. It's weird.
Yeah, Nez, John said that you didn't ask him at all about how his trip was on other Badge Bro streams. Do you have anything you want to ask him now, or are you still entirely disinterested?
No, I couldn't care less. No, we were chatting like off and on like throughout, and I was keeping up on IG stories. And like John said, we had a ton to cover when he returned to the show. So we didn't have a ton of time to actually like break down the trip. But yeah, no, we did talk about the lack of screens though. We did break that down and how nice that felt. And I don't know if it's just like a location thing because people are likely, touring, being tourists there or what, but it is just like a much different vibe that feels nice. I noticed it too when I was in Portugal 2 years ago.
What was the highlight, John? I know you went to a lot of places. What stood out?
Okay, let me tie this into BBG week for everybody.
Oh boy, I don't know.
We'll go with a Toxic Tower. Fuck, Marry, Kill. A little Toxic Tower. Fuck, Marry, Kill here. Mallorca is a little bit of a tourist trap now, but my God, is it beautiful when you get to the secluded cove beaches areas. We took a boat for a couple of days, and that was a big time highlight. If I could pinpoint where anybody should go, that's definitely the fuck spot. I was pleasantly surprised with Madrid. I would live in Madrid.
I hope your wife is just overhearing this. Mallorca, definitely the fuck spot there.
You haven't checked out the end of our drafts then, because he lays out details of their most intimate nights. In under the guise of explaining whether or not a draft is good or not. It's quite the trip. Anyway, sorry, continue.
Sorry. Yeah.
Madrid's the Mary. I didn't expect to love it as much as I did, but like culturally speaking, I thought it was I just enjoyed it more than Barcelona, and I wasn't expecting that at all. And Barcelona would be the kill, but it's still a beautiful spot, and I've been there multiple times now. So maybe that's kind of like wearing on me of like, oh, I've seen this, done that before, or else I would have been more into it. But I was very, very surprised with Mallorca and like how beautiful it was.
Did you get down to Andalusia at all? Did you do Granada, Sevilla, Cordoba, any of that?
No, we just those three spots, and the majority of the time was literally spent in Mallorca, going all the way around the island, like every little spot from the local side to the rich side to the resort side, kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah. That is interesting. I think I'll be curious what you think if you ever get down to southern Spain, because that's more the smaller town communities where Madrid, I think there's parts of it there, but Madrid to me felt like just a massive metropolis, as does Barcelona, but I think Barcelona had a little more character. But yeah, that's interesting. I don't hear too many people go Madrid over Barcelona.
Yeah, I just liked the way it tied into modern society. So like, I guess that's why it was like the live to me, where it's like, there was all the historical architecture. It was very clean. It was very livable, but then it was also extremely modern. So I was like, oh, I could get on board with living here.
John, what's going on in your neck of the woods? Do we have you guys given your official Ja Morant take for the people yet, or is this your first opportunity?
No, we haven't done a Ja Morant take yet. I did see a hilarious tweet this morning, though, to call them Guns and Moses, the combination of Ja Morant and Danny Avdia. So I think that's the leader in the clubhouse going forward here. But I don't know. Ja's a weird fit with Dame, but for the package they gave up, like, oh my God, I'd take Ja every day. Like getting out of Jeremy Grant's contract was like such a win on its own, let alone to get Ja Morant in return for it. I think it's a screaming win for the Blazers.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Big fan of teams just getting better and taking on risks. I mean, I think Ja in Portland maybe a much better situation for him than being in Memphis. Better environment. I think it could end up working out pretty well for the Blazers. Love that move for them. They're a fun team, man. The Blazers are a very, very fun team. Excited to see how this works out in practice.
I actually called up my cousin Joe, who people forget is the GM of the Trailblazer, and I asked him kind of what made him want to buy low on Ja, and he actually said it was a 10,000 word Substack post by Jonathan Bales about a Ja Morant moment and how he was the future of the league. And that had just kind of stuck in his head for 5 years when the job became available.
I love when the Overzet overview makes a guest appearance onto the.
I keep blowing my jokes. I don't. That was off the cuff, but
that was so good. 10,000.
Also, chat's going wild. I did just get the underdog push notification.
Yeah.
LeBron James informs the Lakers he's not coming back. Well, you guys tell me, is this like shocking or was this preordained?
There was a lot of rumors about like Warriors and stuff like that, but I don't know. I didn't think that would be as evident now after the Zinger signing and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. Let that guy go back to Miami and see if he can win one with Giannis. I don't know. I'd like to see him I'd like to see him do the return thing to either Cleveland or to Miami, because both of them are in like one piece away territory. But I just don't want to see him in a Warriors jersey to end his career.
No, me neither. It'll be interesting. I don't think we know. I don't think it's going to be the Warriors, but who knows? I think he might take a vet min wherever he goes, just because of like where he's at in this point of his career. Clearly, all the money in the world, and just like the way, he's still a positive addition to a team, but he's not obviously prime LeBron James. He has his warts as a player now that might just be like the thing that he does in order to chase a ring one last time.
What about little Bronny? Is he along for the ride? Package deal?
That's an interesting one, actually. No, I think the Lakers probably just hold tight and just put him in the G League where he belongs and let him come up and play a couple back end of rotation games at the end of the year.
So what do you think the betting odds for most likely location would be? Is this just truly like pure ring hunting? I don't care about narratives of anything, where I'm living, income tax. I just want a goddamn ring, or is there more to it?
I think LeBron's more self-conscious about his image than that. So I do think like Warriors might be leader in the clubhouse betting odds wise, just because of the smoke. And the combination of like him with Steph is like something they've talked about for years. But then I think he cares enough about his legacy to like be like Cavs or Heat would matter to him. Like, let's go full circle kind of thing.
Yeah, I think Warriors right now are the favorite just based on like the buzz at the moment. But honestly, I have no clue. I could see any of these spots that we talked about as a potential landing spot for him. Like another homecoming could be in the cards as well. I've no idea. I'm excited to see how this plays out.
Yeah. This guy, man, Jay reacts.
I was just gonna pull this up.
Stick to football, like as if I didn't qualify twice for the NBA Dog Bowl. This motherfucker, are you kidding me?
Talk your shit.
I also like the only reason I brought it up is because everyone in the chat is LeBron, but my bad. Let's talk about Jatarian Price's week 1 role.
Yeah, there we go. the pertinent conversation.
Shut up and don't
tout.
dribble is what Jay just told us.
Nice.
Shut up and tout.
Shut up and give us 2 yards in a cloud of dust.
Petey, speaking of tout, do you know what the plan is for you today? Like, you don't have to divulge, but the BBG appearance here, you're flying blind?
So he had been like, he mentioned on Best Ball Breakfast yesterday that he's like, I have something special cooked up. And I'm like, if you try to like ambush the Tylers on me on the show or whatever, I was like, I see this from a mile away. You're not going to do that. But it seems like he genuinely has planned. It seems like in the thumbnail, it's like tiers. He says he wants to see if I can tout. So I'm guessing it's some kind of trivia type of game or something. But I'm genuinely impressed. He could have taken the easy way out. We just drafted team, yada, yada. So I'm excited to see what BBG prepped for us.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Nice.
I'm excited for that.
That is at 4 p.m. Eastern today on his channel. How did you guys think he did on Best Ball Breakfast yesterday?
I thought he was good. It was a lot of fun just to hear him. You know, to be comfortable. I think it kind of took him a little bit. You know, I think the lights might have been a little bright for my guy, but yeah, no, he did good. He did good. He warmed up. In the middle toward the end there.
He's gonna be putting that picture right there. He's printing it out and putting it on his mom's basement wall as inspiration henceforth here.
This is some behind the scenes. You want to know how the sausage of the thumbnail gets made? Chris had sent me this over, and it was in a different order. It was like Dwayne or whatever, and I was like, no, you got to put BBG between me and Karain. Yep. I know. I got to get this man close to Karain here. Yeah, he was giddy. I meant to at some point just drop off the stream yesterday and just let them have a moment, but then I got too impassioned arguing about George Kittle and forgot.
Good shit.
Thank you for fighting the good fight.
That's right. So yeah, like I said, we want to talk some camp risers. You hear that, Jay? Back to football, brother. And then do an eliminator draft. Nez, you had been thinking about this. I know you're in a bunch of slow drafts looking to get all that sweet CLV. Who's kind of been on your mind of late?
Yeah, right now, the one player that I'm really looking at, because I'm not drafting a lot of this player right now, but I'm prepared to, if the situation goes in his favor, is Rashid Shaheed with the Seahawks. Kind of a pretty much a disappointing role for him off rip whenever he joined the Seahawks. I was expecting a lot more from him as a receiver, and really just didn't run nearly as many routes as I expected him to run. Kind of hearing some buzz that they expect to use him more this year, having been in the building, for an off season. And really what I'm looking to hear is like, is he actually running, with the ones? Is Cooper Kupp out there more often than him? Paying attention to that wide receiver competition between him, Kupp, and Torrey Horton, I think will be really important, because right now I think there's just way too much risk at his price. Like Cooper Kupp, obviously still there and probably going to see way more playing time than people want to admit. Torrey Horton had a nice little breakout before he got hurt last year as well. He is absolutely a factor in this situation too. Is Shaheed just like a prized special teamer that plays on 30% of snaps here and there? Or does he have that New Orleans Saints role that we loved with a cannon of an arm with Darnold there? There's a chance that he is a very, very exciting player, but we really kind of need the stars to align for me to start taking him.
Cool. Good takes. The one that comes to mind with him is Kubiak was the guy that kind of like made him in that early window of the Saints stuff. And then Kubiak's gone now. But the counter to that would be that, hey, they didn't have to re-sign him and give him a 3-year deal. And they did give him a 3-year deal after the trade last year. So that's kind of bullish for his value in general for them. There is an opt-out after this year, but like just in a vacuum, they gave him money. They clearly see something in him. They didn't have to keep him around after, Kubiak probably, this is just me hypothesizing, pounded the table for him as the in-season trade last year.
Yeah, and I think you look at this range of the draft board, Shaheed at 138, I always look at like, where's the kind of resistance for potential movement? And they're really, I guess Diggs going to a good spot, but that's more determined on him moving up. But like Coker isn't going to hold the line. Shakir's not going to hold the line. Higgins, even guys like Romeo Dobbs, like you could see a drumbeat movement I think, for him up into what? Probably the Jacoby Myers range is probably where he's about capped out as far as like peak enthusiasm.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, what's the difference between him and Ricky Pearsall in a vacuum?
Yep. Yeah. So I definitely see room for him to run there. And like you said, everyone likes Rashid Shaheed, the talent. Like, nobody has, really questions about that. It was just the bizarre usage of bringing him over and not using it. But I buy the excuse of like, hey, it wasn't broken. We don't need to fix it. This was a luxury acquisition. We fucking won the Super Bowl without him. And guess what? Now we're going to be even more dynamic this year. And if the run game isn't quite as successful because they have so many moving pieces there and they do air it out a little bit more, I think I've been skeptical and I have tilted more toward Hunter in that range. But I think just your argument alone of like this drumbeat is going to push him up makes me want to buy more at these prices.
Yeah, I think you're going to end up hearing a lot about like, oh, deep shot to Shaheed. He's really kind of, like really, I need to hear that. I need that personally, because there's a chance that doesn't happen. But yeah, I am kind of waiting to pounce on that.
There was also another like schematic thing where like Clint was a pretty big like 2 tight end set guy, and we're hoping some of that carries over to like the Raiders. And now you can have like maybe some more 3 wide receiver sets, even though the trend of the league is going in the opposite direction. And that benefits Shaheed, even if Cooper Kupp is running kind of like the traditional like Z routes or Z routes or whatever.
Yeah.
John, you got a guy you think could be a riser you want to pack some bags on right now?
Yeah, I got a couple buckets right now of guys. So
buckets? We're talking football, brother. We're done with that hoop stuff.
We're done with the hoops. We're done with the hoops.
Nice.
Okay, I think let's talk double elite onesies. And I think as the summer goes on, people are going to get enamored with like, what are we doing right now with Brock Bowers and Trey McBride when they're probably both going to lead their teams in offensive, usage, routes, targets, etc. And why are we letting them fall to the 3rd round? So I think there's going to be some pushback on that. And then the other two would be Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts, who are big targets of mine as elite quarterback rises as the summer goes on. So I think elite onesies would be the way I would package it. And those are the 4 that I kind of think are most mispriced relative to where I think they end up market-wise.
Yeah, I mean, Nez, it has been kind of a pattern. I think it gets a little tricky in that, we used to say it was like the new drafters come in August and they prefer the Josh Allens in these top guys. I will say, I think the prices for Hurts and Daniels, why I completely agree with John. I love those guys and they're premium targets for me.
Yeah.
I do think they're there for a reason because I almost think normies they're spooked about the Jaden Daniels injury, the weaponry. Everyone thinks Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball, just lost AJ Brown. So I do wonder if the like elite quarterback normie effect is more just concentrated on Josh Allen this year than those guys.
Good shouts.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that it's kind of hard for one guy to pull away from that tier because it's like a whole round, half a round of quarterbacks that go all in one spot there. And yeah, I think you could see Hurts pull away potentially, or Jaden Daniels pull away, especially if they make an addition to that wide receiver room. But right now, these guys have so much gravity amongst like themselves that it's really difficult for one to pull away from that tier.
Point.
Which one, John, do you think would potentially move up? Or if you're like, hey, this guy's now in the 5th round in August instead of mid to late 6th?
I think it's Daniels. Like, I just think people forget that he was banged up all last year. And if they bring back Debo or they add Diggs or they get this Ayuk deal done and one of those, building blocks, moving pieces, dominoes falls, that he will be tethered to rising up because people will be more comfortable with the backstack ability.
And you know what would also happen if you think of stacking options? Right now, the Terry McLaurin drafter is always letting Jaden go in the 5th and often not getting him back in the 6th. If you push up Jaden Daniels' ADP to say a more palatable spot at the end of the 5th round, like pick 60, that Terry drafter at, let's say, pick 52, 53 in early 5th will be like, all right, that's not that big of a reach. I'll pull Daniels up with McLaurin. I don't want to risk him having to come all the way back. And because of his ADP now isn't coming back. So that could have like a double magnetic pull on Jaden Daniels' ADP.
Yeah, great point.
What about the elite tight end? You were saying the Brock Bowers. Are you saying you think these guys will rise or drop?
No, I think they're risers. I don't see how you can look at Vegas right now and not just be like, we thought Bowers was like a fringe first round pick last year, and basically everything looks better for him this year, apart from being injured at the tail end of last year. I don't see how people don't get excited about, it's time for me to get exploitative and jam Bowers over this huge clump of wide receivers that nobody can, running backs that nobody can kind of like parse through properly. And then there's only 2 wide receivers of resistance who people have combos earlier in the year of with London and AJ Brown. So I think Bowers kind of like pushing his way into that like 17 through 11 range is like, oh yeah, just go get your elite tight end who could really break the slate kind of vibe.
I guess the way I could see that happening is, do drafters get more comfortable with anchor and zero RB builds because we have an influx of these rookies, these ambiguous backfields where we start to feel more comfortable about those builds? And so then you say to yourself, yeah, I'm just taking Brock Bowers here. Like, I'll figure out my running back room later. I think if I speak for the populace, and maybe I don't here, I'm like, I like my teams when I don't take elite tight end so much more. Let me just grab the running back. I'll figure out tight end. But if I knew I had that safety net, if I had that basket, or dare I say bucket of zero RB targets later, I'd be like, all right, let me build up my Brock Bowers position.
Yeah.
What do you think, Nez?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I am a little concerned about the elite tight end pricing, and so I don't know that I'll be a part of the steam job there. I could see it as like, guys kind of get a little bored, but there is such a strong tier ahead of those tight ends that I think they meet some pretty heavy resistance there at that running back tier that goes, that huge, just like snake of running backs, that I think it would be kind of tough for them to crack that, but they could totally leapfrog those wide receivers ahead of them.
This is kind of off topic, but just while we're talking about these top tight ends, the name I look at here as we look at the top 9 or so on screen that I struggle with the most, not like who he is as a player or even his situation, but just the price and where he falls, is Tyler Warren. Because I'm like, I'd rather just get up to Colston Loveland a round and a half earlier. I'd rather go down a round and a half to Tucker Kraft, or buy really nice values on Laporta, Fannin, or Pitts. I just can't get there on the Tyler Warren price relative to the other tight ends.
I agree. I mean, I'm not taking Tyler Warren when Tucker Kraft goes, 20, 10,
almost 20,
18, yeah, almost 20 picks after. There's just like no doubt in my mind I'd rather have Tucker Kraft.
I haven't thought about Tyler Warren. Yeah, I mean, I was enamored early last season with like, hey, maybe he mixes in with some rushing stuff. Maybe he gets a goal line touch here or there. Maybe they do that sort of stuff because they're going to try and protect Daniel Jones this year a little bit. So like the scheme ability of Tyler Warren like stands out to me, but it doesn't stand out enough to, bet on him over some of the offensive environments behind him. Them being mainly Kraft and Laporta that jump out to me.
Yeah.
I'm in lockstep with you guys there. I'm not going to have much Tyler Warren.
Yeah, and it's a weird thing. I talked about it. I did a show with Kendall over on the Fantasy Life YouTube channel a few weeks ago, where we're like our least favorite pick in each round. And I picked Tyler Warren, almost not having anything to do with him, of just like tight end in that spot just does not make sense when I like it in round 4, round 7, round 8 more. But then it gets into a bigger portfolio conversation of like, how willing are you to, if we think it's optimal for just kind of like where to take these profiles, do you, how underweight do you want to be on a second year tight end like Tyler Warren, who did flash a lot in year 1?
Yeah. My biggest like pushback right now would be like Tyler Warren goes right behind the big clump or right in front of the big clump of quarterbacks that I think are mispriced. So I take Daniels, May, Hurts, or a stacked Burrows over him every single time.
Yeah. He's in an interesting pocket of the draft where he's like on an island,
right?
In terms of tight ends, and there's a lot of really good picks around him. So it's hard for me to get there. For me to start taking more Tyler Warren, I need to see clean bill of health Daniel Jones. I need to know that he's that he's looking good in camp. I need those things to happen because I am proceeding with caution on the Indianapolis Colts.
Mm-hmm. I would say the bull case on him is the absorbing Pittman stuff, right? Like that's what people are going to say.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
What they're
a lot of vacated targets.
Right.
Yeah. Which I think is a fair point. I think we're kind of wrestling with, is Josh Downs going to be the biggest beneficiary of that? Is it going to be Tyler Warren? I think a lot of the manufactured stuff at the goal line with Warren was pretty encouraging last year. I think if he gets there, it's probably with a pretty outsized touchdown count, and not necessarily because he's like half point PPR scamming his way to like the elite tight end tier.
Yeah, he's not going to do the Harold Fannin impersonation of the tail end of last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I like the Nez take there that you want the Daniel Jones health because the bet on Tyler Warren is really the Colts kind of crush this year, and Warren catches a lot of touchdowns, but that's a big price to pay at tight end 4. I guess staying on theme with some risers, this was a guy I want to say I took in 3 of 4 drafts yesterday on Best Ball Breakfast, and I'm just trying to get some more Jaden Blue right now. Even Pat mentioned there's Sims over at Leg Up, don't love him right now, but he's like, I could totally see there being a point in this season where it's like, all right, it's time to catch up on Jaden Blue. He's moving up out of the 17th round. Now he's a 15th. Now he's a 14th. I think all the ingredients are there for a riser. We had a guy we were pretty excited about as a rookie. Everyone loves to bet against Javonte Williams. We have the team clearly telling us over and over again, he's our RB2. We want him to be the RB2. I think just the way we view handcuffs, look at our enthusiasm for a Tank Bigsby, a Brian Robinson. I don't see any reason that Jaden Blue can't endear himself to drafters in a way that, he could push up 50 picks from here.
Dude, I have him on my list, and I drafted him 4 times yesterday as well when I was getting back in the streets here, just because he fits that archetype of a guy that we like just in a vacuum, like second-year breakout, wide receiver with running back with some speed, yada, yada, underachieved last year. Now he's a more palatable price tag this year. You look at the depth chart, there's not a ton behind him. The thing that when I went a little bit deeper last night was reading about was Clayton Adams, their offensive coordinator, was the guy who basically had that Arizona Cardinals run game with James Conner humming 2 years ago there. And they basically had their 3rd greatest output as a franchise ever with 5 yards per carry, 140 yards per game, blah, blah, blah. He's supposedly this run scheme guru. So I don't know. I was just kind of that's another feather in the cap for a lawn dart in the later rounds there of a thin backfield and a team that we think is going to play fast and put up points.
Yeah. I like the Jaden Blue call. Definitely paying attention to this back RB2 story throughout training camp. Keeping my third eye open for Maffa as well being a factor, but do like Jaden Blue as the exciting back here that has a unique skill set of being very, very fast, and hopefully another year in the building he can kind of mature a little bit, change his workflow, change his habits, and become a more pro, a more mature pro, because that seems to be kind of the biggest hurdle for him. The reason I like Jaden Blue the most is that can Javonte Williams get away with it again? And he played so much last year. He was the poster child for being a volume merchant last year. He did well, he did well with the role. I don't want to take away too much from Javonte Williams. Glad he was healthy. Glad he had a good fantasy season last year, but he needs, at his current price, to maintain that exact same role he had last year. And you've got Jaden Blue another year in the building, and sure, they played Javonte Williams. I can't imagine the game plan is to run, a twice injured Javonte Williams into the ground again if they can use a dynamic back like Jaden Blue to offset him and, have a threat, another threat in the passing game, because Javonte Williams was not that. He was unbelievably bad in the passing game. So that would really open some things up if they can get Jaden Blue going.
And that was the quote here that I just pulled up on screen. They said that, the team knows what they have at number 1. It's their number 2 job that remains up in the air. And there's no question that the Cowboys would prefer that to be Blue. The Cowboys believe Blue's ability as a pass catcher would make him the perfect match with Williams. What Blue could bring in the passing game would also add another element to what should again be one of the NFL's best offenses. And I go back to, what's our famous Dink saying, like, what you win when you win. Mm-hmm. I mean, getting an explosive pass catcher that is seeing a lot of work in this Cowboys offense, you kind of have a couple of outs because maybe he does get this role as the pass catching back alongside Javonte. And then you get this really enticing contingent upside. And I do agree. He'd be in a committee if Javonte went down, but I think he'd be on the right side of the committee, and his efficiency and explosiveness would make him an extremely valuable fantasy asset in that scenario.
Yeah. I like all this. Yeah. I agree with you guys.
It's sort of like an exponential rise in the role after that, if that does take place, right? If he is getting more pass down work, it just kind of everything just kind of expands from there, just because of how exciting a player he can be if things do work out.
It kind of feels like the bull case is poor man's Tootin.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, and a lot cheaper than we were paying for Tootin last year.
Sure, yeah.
And a lot cheaper than we were paying for Blue last year. We were paying out the ass for Jaden Blue, and I couldn't understand it.
Rolly Doinks brings up a good point in the chat, though. The Malik Davis stuff, like, it was Davis who worked over him last year. Remember, he had I think it was the Thanksgiving primetime slate where they played KC, and he housed one from like super far out. He was on our like scroll list that week, and then it was him in like the latter part of the season when they were like, just running games out, that sort of thing, and Javonte didn't go, that like Malik Davis was the 20 carry guy. If you go back to like snap counts and touches from last year, like he lapped the field with any other backup there, where he was playing like 53% of snaps for the last like 3 weeks, basically. So I don't know, maybe there is a little something there because we did see the breakaway juice in one game at least.
I just think with the last year, it like Jaden Blue was in the doghouse. He had not earned the coach's trust. And so even when some midseason opportunity opened up, they're just like, we're not forcing this. We don't trust you. We will sacrifice explosiveness and we'll go to these other dust balls. But it's like, do you buy the drumbeat that things are different, that he, even the other top thing I was looking at here, and I hadn't even read this yet from yesterday, Jaden Blue, I didn't start off like I should have. I'm ready to go now. Like, there's a self-awareness to like, I flopped last year and now I understand what's required of me in the NFL. So if you buy that narrative, I think it's easy to see how he could be a smash at this price.
Yeah. I like it.
Any other names, Nez? I know you were thinking about a few here before we hop in a draft. Anyone else you want to shout out?
I mean, you can hop into a draft. I don't want to, take up too much more time, but one of the situations I am paying close attention to is the New Orleans Saints and just like how it affects that entire offense right now. I anticipate a lot of it being full go for training camp, but little concerning that he had the blood clot issue, already this season, and with his history of concussions as well. I do think that that's pretty fragile. Jordan Tyson, perennially injured guy with the hamstring, already banged up. That has me a little concerned. So with those factors, I think that kind of opens up the conversation for like 18th round Vele. If Tyson continues to be injured and not being able to stay on the field, I think that really opens up Vele to be out there for 2 wide receiver sets. Additionally, I'm also really paying attention to Alvin Kamara. I think he's like such a buy right now. All the talk is that he is going to be featured in their offense and he's there to stay. There was a lot of, concern about him retiring, getting cut. It sounds like he's going to get used, man. And that effect to me has him being a riser. I think ETN potential faller in that same regard, because if he's losing passing work to Alvin Kamara, that was like a huge selling point for ETN, was that he's going to have this awesome high value touch role. He could lose a lot of high value touches to Kamara if things don't go well. So I think there's a lot of moving pieces to this Saints offense and how it could look. I could go on, to be honest. I think the Saints are very interesting.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about them the other day there, and I echo a lot of that. Let's make this pick together. Is it just Jamar Chase for everybody?
I like tilting a little to the buy with Puka or JSN, but I'm good with whatever. Nez, you make the call.
Puka.
Real quick before we get rolling in this draft, I do want to pull this up because meant to hit on this. Nate Noon says, what is this new best in show tab on the underdog drafts? Nez, you pointed out that this was live to us earlier today. Explain to me and the audio listeners what we're seeing on screen here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a leaderboard for drafts, and I believe it's for every sport. So this encompasses right now WNBA, soccer, and MLB. And if you click on scoring, it shows you the breakdown for how this works. So just to read it out loud for everybody, you get +1 point for cashing an entry, 50 points for a bank, 24 for a top 5, 12 points for a top 10, 6 points for a top 20. And then by having, a top 1 percentage bonus, you get plus 10 there. So I'm assuming that's the percent number of entries that you have in the top 1% there. You get that, or maybe that's just being in the top 1% period in a draft. I'd have to ask Numi. But yeah, no, this is super sick. We've been wanting to see a leaderboard for a while and what that would look like, how that would make sense for them to have a public leaderboard. So this is awesome. Like we've been wanting this for a long time.
This is the right way to go about it too. Like forward facing, like just not to be like focused on profit and loss, not to be focused on some of the data that goes behind closed doors that like people would like private. This is the way to go about it, is like showcase people's highlights, high achievements, their wins, that sort of thing. Yeah, I think this is great, man. I love the branding of it too, like dog of the week and stuff like that. So best in show. I think it's very sharp. It's very smart. Something we talked about for a long time. So I'm very happy it's here, and I'm very happy it encompasses all sports. My guy Nez leaving off the links bros there, the golf bros.
Oh, forgive me. Sorry. we do have golf tournaments too.
Yeah, so you guys can find this when you're under the tab. There's the lobby, there's the active completed, and now we have best in show. It'll be very fun when we get football rolling, of course. And I'm sure there'll be some people might call it the best in sun running, so that's, we can start to have those conversations as well.
Yeah, depends on who I see at the top.
Yeah. Does it remove points if your pods are too soft? Yeah, I don't know if that's baked into the special sauce.
Somebody's got to do the advanced analytics for that.
I haven't tested this on mobile yet. Do you guys know if it's mobile or just
I saw desktop only, because when I clicked the link on mobile when I sent it this morning, it doesn't prompt anything.
Jeremiah Love, Breece Hall, Javonte, Love week 14 seems fine. What do you guys think?
I'm Love.
Okay.
I'm open to suggestions. I'm just giving answers because the clock is ticking. John, don't feel bullied, John. You can speak up.
Talk it out. Talk it out. Why you're skeptical of Love at that spot.
I understand why he's getting like the Zeke Saquon style prospect level comp stuff, but he himself said the other day that he didn't want to be like the focal point of the offense, that sort of thing. I think Smith or Kyron's fine. Both back-weighted buys too. Rashi's okay too.
I don't feel strongly, Nez. You want to break a tie?
Kyron.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll make up for these week 11 buys, but this is a great eliminator start here. Get the week 14 bye to players in what should be a great offense. Yeah.
I mean, I just call me a simpleton. I just don't want the running back who might be in a 3-way committee on the worst team in football, who are double-digit dogs in like 16 of their 18 games right now.
I think it's a very fair criticism. I think you're giving him two essential. I guess you're cutting him a break for two reasons. One, the week 14 bye, and just having that long of a production runway before he takes a zero. And two, just the running back scarcity elements in these drafts. I mean, you pass on them here, you come away with 2 wide receivers and just Kyron, it comes back around. Like, you do start to put yourself in a tough build. So I do think you just play those, even though I agree with you. I think the most likely scenario is it's an Ashton Genty ass start to the season for him. There are scenarios where it's not, where it's like an old school Leonard Fournette or Zeke Elliott start to his rookie year, and then you're fucking windmilling it in here.
Yeah, there's a chance that this Cardinals offense is better than we think too. Like, the sum of their parts is pretty nice, and if they just end up being a good offense, then we're like, oh man, why were we worried? Like, this is actually a great fantasy spot. Like, the defense sucks, the offense rules. Like, yeah, Love is a smash because every game for the Cardinals is going nuke.
Another eliminator draft for us, another week of shady advice, bum hunting us and taking our running backs before we can. It's Top Click Tuesday over at the Leg Up offices.
Wow. Really going out on a limb there.
Guys, how many? Okay, before our pick, can I rattle off some more of my list?
No.
Yes.
Okay. So I said the bucket.
Are these cities in Spain or what's this list?
Yes, we're testing my my
top 10
here.
places to have sex in Spain. Number 10. Will you allow me to put a visa?
Good shit. So I did the bucketing thing, right? I did the top tier of those positions. The other one that's obvious is just free agents. Like free agents are going to rise if they sign somewhere. I think there's a little more, scaredness, let's just use a bad word like that, with like Keenan Allen and Najee Harris in the last round, for instance, where they could be like the Leonard Fournette or Julio Jones. But I think like Diggs is, he had 1,000 yards last year and he looks sweet in these route running videos. Like, I think he's going to find a way to move 20 spots. So I've been buying like the Diggs stuff. Debo, you could kind of like talk me out of or whatever. The other ones that I wanted to pinpoint were what you had in the article there, Pete. I think Kittle and Golden are poised to just be risers just based on where they are in draft boards and as the Kittle health goes and as the Golden camp news goes. And then Cardinal Tate, man. Not enough people talking about like, I just kind of poo-pooed on how high they drafted Love, but
yeah, probably Bucky for me.
I think I'd take Bucky and then whoever comes back.
Yeah. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to get lost at running back.
Yeah. What do you guys feel about? What do you guys feel about Super Rams onslaught stack with a Week 11 bye in an eliminator?
I think it's. I don't know. I don't love it.
Top 5. I don't love it.
Yeah, I think it
like.
No, I just introduces too much variance.
Right. And I think too, if it was like, let's do Stafford late, let's do Terrence Ferguson. There's no one else really good to tack onto it, but just, it's like, man, it's a lot to ask of a single offense week in and week out to have 60% of your most valuable picks from a single team. It's like one dud week and you are very much at risk of getting bounced.
Right. Yeah.
Burden and Adams both come by, so I would probably lean back to Burden unless you guys see another angle.
No, I think I'm cool with that. I love JMO too, but
yeah, good with either.
John. All right, we'll do Burden. We'll play the week 10 bye there. Luther Burden could be anything. He could be Jamison Williams.
Could even be JMO. This is a pretty kind of like exciting start for an elim. We're not necessarily drafting eliminator ass picks right now. Like Kyron, sure, but this is like a pretty. These are some fun names for an eliminator.
Yeah.
Yep. Puka Nacua, Jeremiah Love, Kyron Williams, Bucky Irving, Luther Burden. Structurally, this is kind of where you love to be. 3 running backs, 2 wide receivers, all late buys, 14, 11, 10 for the running backs, 11, 10 for the wide receivers. I'm digging it.
Like it.
Yeah.
Okay, last 2 on my list. You ready?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Terrence Ferguson and Michael Mayer. Just 2 teams that I think will play more of the 2 tight end stuff. They both have contingent upside, and they're both like free in the last round right now that I think people will get excited about when they see like a glimmer of hope in camp from them.
So I will completely rubber stamp agree with you. Terrence Ferguson is going to move. Davis won't shut up about him. All the, cabal, best ball bros are really coming around on him. And you have the ambiguity, right? Like you can say Parkinson, Higbee. I mean, it's scary that you can name 4 different tight ends for them, but that ambiguity will say there can be a winner for the most talented. I just think ultimately people are not going to get past Michael Mayer being essentially a handcuffed tight end or the presence of Brock Bowers. Like, even if you do buy that thesis that he's going to play alongside Bowers, that he's not smashing unless Bowers gets hurt, which doesn't mean he's not a good pick. I think even Levitan floated him yesterday on Best Ball Breakfast, but I just don't see him steaming up unless Bowers gets nicked up.
Yeah, that's fair. Non-derogatory.
I have some more.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah. So this one for me is Marshawn Lloyd still sitting in the 18th round, and every day he's not injured is another day where I inch him up my ranks. Definitely going to be paying attention to how often he's getting work in training camp. I think they've been kind of waiting for somebody to take a load off of Josh Jacobs, and they wanted that to be Marshawn Lloyd last year and the year before that, and it just never panned out and never came to fruition. With the way that this offense is currently set up, having lost Dubs, having lost Wicks, I mean, for whatever it's worth, I think an extra playmaker to in the mix there. Maybe it's Golden actually like playing football and doing things this year. I think they would love for Marshawn Lloyd to be a factor on this team. So obviously health is what I'm paying attention to, but there's a chance that he can like really, really, really rise if we are getting great buzz out of camp from him.
Love it.
I honestly don't mind Ramondre here. Late buy, good early volume. Also don't mind like a Jaden elite quarterback.
Ramondre.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
We just ended fucking BBG week there. One single click.
Hey, After Dark's canceled, brother. I'm loading up on Ramondre instead.
Squished him like a butt. He was quick to fold on some of those arguments. I wish he would have, stood taller on some of that Trevion stuff. A lot of I don't know. Like you do know. Stand on it.
Metcalf, Brian Thomas, Rico, Godwin.
I like Metcalf.
Okay, I was going to say Metcalf or Dowdle, not because I'm a Steelers fan, but I like they've got the bye week with only Tennessee, and the fact that we have 2 week 11 buys at running back and Puka as a week 11 bye, I wasn't totally opposed to Rico as a 5th running back and shutting it down, but Metcalf probably does more for the team week over week.
That was my thing of like it is. I think Ramondre in this format at this price is a pretty good value. And it made me think, do we want to close ourselves out of another 1 or 2 running back opportunities throughout the draft? So I kind of just like leaving the door open there positionally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
I do like the Lloyd thing. I did talk about him a little bit with Levitan. I know he's in on him a lot too. And we're kind of mentioning you get even the added equity of shit really does hit the fan for Josh Jacobs.
Sure.
Which again, I'm on the side of nothing ever happens. Like Josh Jacobs is probably going to be fine, but there is a little bit of equity there. And at the very worst, he could or should be the assumed RB2 there. So yeah, Lloyd and those are the 2 I wrote about in the newsletter the other week of like, these are the backfields where I don't feel like I'm getting it in bad, even selecting them now. The ones where you feel like you're getting it in bad is if they're actually an RB3 and you're like, I'm guessing. I feel pretty good about them as RB2s on the depth chart.
Okay. 100%. Lloyd just has so much room to rise if we get what we want to get and hear what we want to hear. Just because I think he does not need he's not pure contingency, I think, in his, better range of outcomes. I think he just has a standalone role and plus contingency, obviously.
Yeah. Yep. It's funny. I guess what would be a good comparable for him, because it is like he has burned us. We have all, touched that hot stove, but we also had touched it with a guy like Kendre Miller and then have talked ourselves into him being a pretty big riser. We're like, okay, everything's coming together for Kendre. Yeah. This is the year. So I can see us. We are ultimately as slappies. We have short memories if it is a profile that we initially liked coming out of the draft.
Yeah, I don't know who I would comp him to just because he's like never played.
That was a pretty good comp. The Kendre Miller was a pretty good comp. I mean, my pushback on Lloyd is like, I didn't think he was very good at college, and I saw him IRL once. Like, I just was like, my thing was like, I was just out on Lloyd. There was a reason he transferred schools and couldn't get a job kind of thing. But that's different than, he's the RB2 on their depth chart right now, which is factually correct.
About to pick here. I do like Downs, Fannin. We can talk vets with Sutton. I've been a little lower on Addison. What do you guys think?
I think Sutton.
Okay. I was gonna say Downs. I love Sutton though. I take a lot of Sutton. So Pete,
Good
go
with
ahead and break
either.
the tie.
Yeah, I'm a Downs guy. Just both the bye week, you get a little bit of an edge there.
Yeah.
I do think like if we're looking at what Sutton's going to project for more touchdowns, Downs is going to project probably for more weekly targets, which I kind of like hanging our hat on here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, love both those options though.
John, you make this next pick for us. This is kind of you want to do the Stafford with Puka thing, a Jackson Dart to kind of spread out?
Yeah, I think Stafford makes too much sense. Like even in Eliminator, the other one I would push for would be like Laporta, but I don't think it's necessary here.
Yeah, let's do Stafford. I mean, we're pretty invested in the Rams here with both Kyron and Puka. You know, thinking about our Week 11 bye situation, we also have Ramondre there. So you're looking at Love and Bucky. You're looking at Luther Burden, Metcalf, Downs. You know, we'll have to make sure we can survive that week. But hopefully by Week 11, Jeremiah Love is truly cooking.
Yeah. I want to. Can we just talk for a second there about Dart? Like, I want to be the guy who gets excited about Dart, but I have a really hard time drafting him because I'm not really drafting Neighbors unless he falls like greatly. And I know he's a quarterback that doesn't have to be stacked, but when I stare at him like in this range, I'm like, why don't I just take Malik Willis like 4 rounds later if I'm going to do the unstacked like rushing upside quarterback? And maybe that's not giving what Jackson Dart has done at the NFL level enough credit yet. But I don't know. What do you guys feel about that? Like just sitting there and being right with like Stafford and Mahomes, I'm just kind of like, man, there's no back stack. I don't know what to do here.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't take him right now very much.
Dart?
Obviously, yeah, correct. Yeah, I don't take a lot of Dart right now because I think he's going to fall. I don't think Malik Neighbors is going to open the season on the team. I think he's going to be on PUP. And I think when that news hits, I think it'll affect Jackson Dart as well. So I think you're just going to get like double discount on those guys. And if Malik Neighbors is healthy, I don't think Dart has much room to rise anyways. So I'll just I'll just wait for that to take place and then draft Jackson Dart. There's also a chance that he is just, I was very impressed by Jackson Dart last year. But he might not be as good as we think. And especially if Malik Neighbors isn't close to 100%. There's just a chance that he's actually like not like he's too reckless, and he had some really, really bad games last year. I remember specifically one like very bad game, and that just like rent free in my head where like the floor is low. This is a new coaching staff. Do they want him to run less? I think there's a lot of downside for Jackson Dart. Whereas who's that guy that goes beside him? Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
yeah. I think Patrick Mahomes might be a safer bet.
Yeah. What do you guys think though, more less than like the specific player take on Dart, but just the idea of the benefits? We were talking through how much is too much with, say, the Rams, where you do kind of spread out some of the weekly downside risk by pivoting to a Dart, where it's like you could have the bad week for the Rams, maybe one of Kyron Puka hits it, but Stafford or the other doesn't. And then Dart's rushing floor and 22-point game, basically raises your floor on a week where the Rams do tank. That would be my only thought, like just structurally for the Eliminator to have that conversation.
Yeah, I really like that mindset because like everybody's ran into it in a home league in their whole life where they're like, oh, I spent my first round pick on Puka, then I got Adams at a discount, and now I'm playing against the team that's playing Stafford, and it's like, oh, this mitigates my everything. There's also that avenue too, where you run into the team that is playing some of your guys as well because everyone who's moving onward has Puka because Puka's been so good for the first X amount of weeks as well. So I would have taken him.
You wanted to pour the last round.
What a gift.
I'm happy to do that here.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's an awesome selection for us.
And it gives us an out at golf on the way back here too, even though it's an early buy. They don't overlap. And yeah.
I think the one thing too with what we're doing with the Rams, I think there's very few teams I feel comfortable doing it with. The team that is like overwhelmingly Super Bowl favorites and looks like they are just going to be a wrecking machine in the Rams is the one team I feel pretty comfortable making a large bet on in the Eliminator because I just don't know who's going to stand in their way.
Right. Yeah.
What do you guys want to do here? We could go with another tight end. I of course like Kittle. There's Shuck. There's Shakir. There's Willis.
I like Kittle or Willis.
All right. Sounds like I like both those two. Let's go Nez with the quarterback here just to make sure we don't get too shut out. And now we can have this conversation about essentially doing the arbitrage dart thing with Willis.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't. The Malik Willis definitely has bench risk, but I don't think it's that high with like a brand new coaching staff, and I think a very, very clear understanding of what their expectations are going into this year. Whereas with the Jets, I think the Jets had pretty high expectations last year with Justin Fields. And I was looking back just because I like to see like old draft boards and stuff. And we were talking about Justin Fields. We were like, man, it would have to be so bad for Justin Fields to get benched. And it turned out to be so bad. But with Malik Willis, the expectations are already on the floor. They don't have much of a cast around him. I think they fully understand what their range of outcomes are this year. And I think that makes Malik Willis a safe option in terms of, his bench risk, and just what he provides in the Eliminator format speaks for itself. Maybe an underrated passer too.
Yeah. I guess the one thing, I definitely buy the argument that Dart should maybe be going a little bit later. I do think I have so much more confidence in the Giants trying to win football games, trying to be competent. And I also think we just have a little bit bigger sample size, I would argue, on Dart as a thrower and stuff like that. Certainly you have the injury risk, but the full-blown systemic risk of the team completely bottoming out, which we know the Dolphins want the 101 next year. That gives me more confidence in Dart, and I do think he should be a tier ahead. Yeah.
Okay. I can buy that. Malik Willis too, the samples that we did see him be good, it was in the most ideal situation I think he could have possibly been in as a backup with Matt LaFleur, with the weapons he had in Green Bay. I think he was just totally set up for success when he did make those starts.
So let's do a quick recap here. This draft is breaking pretty nicely for us. Not a ton of tough spots yet. Stafford and Willis at quarterback, week 11, week 6 buys there. Had those 4 early running backs, Jeremiah Love, Kyron, Bucky, Ramondre, all buys after week 10. At wide receiver, Puka, Luther Burden, DK Metcalf, Josh Downs, again, buys all after week 9. And then we get the Laporta value hound there at pick 118, week 6 buy. I think we're in good shape.
Yeah. John, that was your guy. Can you give us a little ow?
I guess.
No? I don't mind Daniel Jones third.
There you go.
With Josh Downs.
Yeah.
Get frisky with something else. I don't see anything else really screaming at me.
Yeah. This is where Nez gets mad, where I fake put him in the queue and then I take Keaton Mitchell because all the Chargers go Burr and Rise. But no, this makes a lot of sense here.
And John's telling me a story about his glory days, and I'm like, cue Daniel Jones, and then Keaton Mitchell auto couldn't get it in time.
Did this just recently happen?
I made up a fake scenario about it and tweeted about it.
So funny.
But it's believable, isn't
it? Sorry. Let's make this pick and then I'll tell you what I was deep in thought about for a half second.
Not opposed to these tight ends, Pete.
I was just going to say this wide receiver tier looks flat, maybe swinging back to a Chig, Henry, Gadsden, Jawan. Who do you like?
Chig.
Jawan.
Ooh, break the tie.
What were Chig and Chig just
Chig's
went.
Gone.
So
okay,
that's easy.
Jawan it is.
That's
easy.
There you go.
Nice. Not a lot of week 8. Do we have any week 8 buys?
I don't think so.
We don't.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Love it.
So we add Daniel Jones as our third QB there, slightly past ADP, stacked up with Josh Downs. We also get Jawan Johnson, a little ahead of ADP there, but I do think as far as Eliminator ass picks go, certainly clears Aronde Gadsden.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of question marks with Gadsden.
Yeah, even though I like the offense, it's just hard to, week-to-week production with him.
Any other thoughts on how this one is shaping up?
My thoughts were I'm just so hung up on this Malik Willis versus Jackson Dart thing right now, and I'm going back and forth between game logs from last year and stuff like that.
Hey, Davis is pissed that we passed on Key Mitch. I just want to let Davis know this isn't the little palm with a 900-person final. This is the Eliminator where week 1 is all that matters. And Keaton Mitchell is going to project for 3.4 touches week 1.
Keaton Mitchell is going to be the – okay, hold on. Before I say this, I got to look. Who do the Chargers play in week 1? Do we remember?
Was I supposed to have ever learned it in the first place?
I got it. Well, it's an eliminator. You got to be geared up.
You're right,
okay.
you're right.
I remember it being like one of the marquee games that they could beat the shit out of someone. The Chargers play the Cardinals at home in week 1. Keaton Mitchell Davis is going to be making waiver wire acquisition videos going into week 2, with Keaton Mitchell being like a must add in your Yahoo home league.
Because he was cut after week 1.
Yeah, because he's like 8% owed or whatever, because he gets garbage time carries in that game over Vidal, and he has like one sweet schemed up like pre-snap motion that goes for like 40 yards, and he goes like 8 for 68 and 1. And everybody's like, you got to stash this guy. You got to stash this guy.
Can I tell you how we play the Keaton Mitchell thing, guys? You know, you go slightly underweight in best ball. Week 1, often on the clock, Friday show. We say, all right, time to spice it up. It's the pick'em portion. Right away, we're kind of looking at each other. Who's going to take the lead? And someone goes, you want to slide Keaton Mitchell?
That's Keaton Mitchell up to 7.5 receptions.
Yeah. That's how you play the Keaton Mitchell experience.
He's going to be our Rashad White of this year, because we used to play those Rashad White receptions and trailing scripts over and over and over again.
Yeah,
we need those. The longest play from scrimmage would be a good one. Slide him up to that 34.5.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Him and J-Mo double slides. Paint. Oh, picture this, boys. Picture this.
Okay. We're about to pick at 14-10. We got a 3-4-4-2. We're done at quarterback here. Solver, Lycan, Juwan Jennings, Denzel Boston, Calvin Ridley. Some running back options as well, if you like a Dylan Sampson. What do you guys think?
I like Brian Robinson and Juwan Jennings.
Brian Robinson just went. I'm Juwan with you.
Juwan, 10 picks past ADP, get a 5th wide receiver here. I like it.
And
unique buy. Yeah.
Yeah, no wide receiver with a 6 buy yet. Laporta has a 6 buy, which means we might need a 3rd tight end on this roster, but yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to be 3 tight ends, you know, a pretty good amount of the time here.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys eliminator ass structure, like 3-5-7-3s?
Yeah.
That's probably
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You know, not married to the 5th running back, but you know, I think more often than not.
What do you think here? Denzel Boston, Malik Washington. I don't mind a Gunnar Helm as a 3rd tight end. Did we lose or Dulcich here as well? But he's also a week 6. Quick.
Ridley or Boston?
John?
Yeah, Ridley.
Boom.
Wow.
Nice.
Nimble fingers.
Well done.
Wow.
Well done.
Yeah, Ridley, eliminator ass pick. Denzel Boston, I guess the opposite of it. Boston sliding a little bit here, pick 167. Probably not a bad choice there. I guess just looking at our room, Puka, Burden, Metcalf, Downs, Juwan Jennings. I think we could have gone either way there, but plenty of speculative rookies still to add here if we want it.
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Boston probably runs a ton of routes because the Browns are going to stink and they're probably going to throw a lot, but feel more confident about the bet there.
Cool. Have you guys? We did the riser thing. Have you guys forecasted anything about potential camp cut candidates that would be like shock the world ones, like guys that are getting drafted in like the hundreds right now that could definitely not be on the roster?
Top 100. That's
maybe not top 100,
tough.
in the hundreds. In the hundreds.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I saw the chat was talking about Keon Coleman earlier, but he's like not fantasy relevant. The other one people have talked about is the Kayshon Boutte, but again, he's pretty deep in the player pool as well. Who else am I forgetting?
Jerry Jeudy and Ridley were potential ones.
I think Jeudy, from what my understanding is, Jeudy is way too much dead cap, even though they are, you know, not really playing for much this year. That I think they would just like throw him out there. But I could be mistaken on that. I mean, I could hear the inverse of that for sure too.
Yeah, it's just something I hadn't given a lot of thought yet, and it kind of dovetails off the camp risers versus like winners and losers kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't have any hot takes for cut candidates of like 100% drafted guys, to be honest.
I know nothing about the contract or what it would be, but like one guy who's like position atop the depth chart that has felt pretty tenuous throughout even the draft season and the Titans and all of that is like, could something go down with Tony Pollard? You know, where they still seem hype on Spears. They draft Singleton. They're clearly ushering in this youth movement here. I mean, he's probably more of a trade candidate there, but like as far as someone where you could see something truly shocking, couldn't something happen there with Pollard?
I think I like the mindset. When I look at the contract, they had an opt-out and they exercised the option on June 1 to keep him.
Okay.
So if they were going to do that, it would have been before the June 1 date by the looks of it.
We're on the clock here. Man, I love Tank Bigsby at this price. 190, week 10 bye week. Just try to take a big swing for an RB5.
Yeah, shut it down after Tank Bigsby.
Cool.
I think it makes more sense than trying to, find some fringe standalone value here when we have those 4 running backs. I think the plan would be hopefully Bigsby finds himself a role by the time those bye weeks hit for those running backs.
The question now is with Laporta and Jawan Johnson, the good tight end tier got wiped. Even Gesicki comes off the board here. Do you entertain a 4 tight end build here, or it's just like, man, the wide receiver options, Cooper Kupp's still here, Christian Kirk's still here. Do we just rock with a weak 3 tight end room?
I think we rock the weak 3 tight end because I don't think it's that weak, but yeah, I might be overvaluing Laporta.
Yeah, I agree. I think Laporta and Juwan are a very, very, very cromulent 3 tight end room start to that.
Bateman has been a guy who I've been kind of wanting to get shares of in Eliminator. Feels like a fun spot.
We got 5 seconds. Throw the dart.
Let's go for it. Why not? I've been doing Christian Kirk. I haven't done Bateman yet, but people forget Bateman had, what was it, like 9 touchdowns or something that one year?
Yeah, the year he finally paid off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like, that was a Best Ball Breakfast conversation yesterday. I feel like we talked about Ravens, who's the wide receiver 2 for like 30 minutes because there's so many candidates. Bateman is the most logical choice to open up the season as the clear wide receiver 2. He does have the week 13 bye here as well, which again, I kind of like double dipping it. Can we get off to a fast start, but then also not take a 0 from him for a while?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. The buy to me is a big selling point on Bateman. And in terms of Eliminator drafting, Bateman makes the most sense as opposed to Surratt and Lane at this point in time. Maybe we get bad news and it's like, oh yeah, Surratt just is like can't be left off the field, or Lane can't be left off the field with how they're playing. But we chase these Ravens rookie wide receivers every single year, and none of them ever hit. None of them ever hit. But I am drafting Surratt in like traditional best ball, but I think Bateman's totally fine for Eliminator.
Bateman's lowest snap share last year was 53% in week 17 when they kind of went waving the white flag a little bit late in that ball game. But early season Bateman was like 73, 81, 81, 79, 71, 61, 60, 59. Like he was definitely they were mixing in other guys, but he was definitely a 2 wide receiver set guy.
Yeah.
New coaching staff and new coordinator, but hey.
Yeah. And I think about a guy now, it's not quite the same because Bateman's been in the league longer, but it was like, I was clicking a ton of Troy Franklin at the end of drafts last year because it was really clear he was going to be the guy to start the season. And we knew Pat Bryant was coming. We kind of knew that there was probably going to be a baton moment. That baton moment ended up happening way later than I think even the biggest Pat Bryant, fans expected. And so that I think you could have scenarios like that with Bateman where it's like, all right, Jacoby Lane and Surratt just aren't there yet. And it takes a long time. And Bateman is just kind of out there rocking for 11, 12 weeks.
Yeah. That would be very nice for this team if Bateman has that week to week role because Lamar is, passing more. He's not rushing quite as much, so that would be great for Bateman.
Mount Washington, Njoku. This is tough, guys.
Parkinson or Washington for me.
Yeah, I'd avoid Parkinson. I know it like feels good to stack, but when we already have the two pieces, I think I don't want another 11 buy.
Okay. I'm not going to say no to Darnell, man.
Yeah.
Let's do Darnell. We get to Rainbow, flop it with the tight end. Bye weeks there, 6, 8, 9. We also had Metcalf, so we do get a little team level correlation on the Steelers. I guess looking back, that's probably the one. Bateman, Darnell Washington, not that we had a ton of enthusiasm for either of those. Those are probably the trickiest spots. Looking back on the board, and I'll do a full recap, are there any spots you wish we would have grabbed the third or second tight end earlier?
Maybe the Ridley pick, and you just take advantage of that little like 3 tier there of like Otten, Hawkinson, and Barner, and then our next wide receiver at the Bigsby spot instead. But
yeah,
I guess that maybe that was a lack of my understanding with how quickly the tight ends run off on these Eliminator drafts comparative to everything else I've been drafting this week, where I was kind of expecting, a little more depth at the position late. So yeah, maybe passing on Ridley and going to that tier.
I personally don't have like a problem with how he played it. I think if I could pick a nit, it would maybe be taking Stowers where we took Bateman. Just because I think Stowers is a pretty interesting selection just in drafts in general. But I'm not too upset about it because I really like Juwan and Laporta. So like I really just think it wasn't that big of a deal to have to take Darnell as the third tight end here.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad either. I do think I'm with John. If I could redo it, give me Dulcich where we took Ridley, stack Malik Willis up, get that third tight end we feel a little bit better about, and then we flip Darnell Washington to let's see what best available wide receivers. We still have a lot of kind of interesting stuff to work with here. Tyquan Thornton, I think, is a pretty good pick right now. I've been getting people have been
Tyquan.
Yeah, both Davis and Dwayne were kind of singing his praises into my ear yesterday. I certainly see the vision.
Yeah, he was a PTP monster last year.
God,
that was my guy.
Let's just assume, I'm trying to be better about this. For people who don't know what PTP means, give them the Badge Bros glossary there.
The primetime paloozas, baby. Those are our island game slates.
Yeah.
They span multiple days, but they're for Thursday night football to Sunday night football to Monday night football to Thursday night football. We got it all. They cover all sorts. They span all those island games, but they're a ton of fun. 2-game slates, 4-person drafts, and they're a blast.
It'd be interesting to see now with the advent of the salary stuff if we're gonna have single games to go alongside them this year for the primetime games.
Yeah,
wish casting a little bit, but do some PTPs and the single games for each of the slates. That'd be so fun.
Yes, Go Easy Cards. It does not stand for poo-poo picks. There's also a T in there, brother. 3-5-7-3. This is how we landed the plane. Stafford, Willis, and Daniel Jones at quarterback. Jeremiah Love, we got off to a little contentious start there, but then Kyron Williams, Bucky Irving, Ramondre Stevenson, Tank Bigsby. Wide receivers, Puka, Burden, Metcalf, Downs, Juwan Jennings, Ridley, Bateman, tight end, Laporta, Juwan Johnson, Darnell Washington. I think this is a really good team. It's kind of funny that our rookie risk is actually in the second overall pick for us, our second pick, as opposed to normally it's like, I need one of these Jeremy Bernard ass types to break out. It's an eliminator ass team that I wonder, when we get to week 16, week 17, should we be so blessed? Does it have enough breakout late season firepower to compete with those juggernaut teams?
Absolutely.
Okay. Fire me up.
If we get there, that Jeremiah Love playoff schedule is like coveted. That's one of the best playoff schedules in football, So we get that rolling. That's going to be wheels up. And if we nail the Luther Burden breakout, like if Luther Burden breaks out and he is who drafters think he can and will be, then this team is just a machine. Because Puka, I think, is just one of the best eliminator picks on the board. And getting those Luther Burden spikes to go along with it, I think will carry this team a long ways.
This is a team I would not like week 3, 4, 5, 6 when I'm pulling up and I'm sweating some of my head-to-heads. I don't want to see this team. Like this team.
Yeah, it's like what were you doing? All these studs on here. Like that's not how you draft Eliminator. Like what is going on?
John, any other final thoughts on this squad?
No, I think it's good, man. It was really nice to get reacquainted with the Eliminator format. Got to do more of those in the upcoming future here. But yeah, a lot of it hinges upon, love being early breakout and then sustaining long. And cognitively, that's not how I would approach an Eliminator usually, but the way we constructed the roster behind it makes a lot of sense. So I like the bull case that Nez spun there, because I look at this roster and I go, I'm a little scared of Love and I'm a little scared of Luther Burden. So I like the bull case that Nez laid out for us.
Also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention our friends at Underdog do have a special promo going here. There's a couple things going on. There's the Golden Boot jackpot, $500,000. You apply your token on any player to score a goal selection. If your player wins the Golden Boot, you get a piece of the 500K. So this is kind of similar to the $25 million giveaway they're doing, where this will be settled at the end of the tournament. And then I also just got an email that I got a discount here waiting for the USA versus Bosnia game. So make sure you guys are taking advantage of that. This discount is soccer entry with 3+ picks, max entry of $50. Have you guys been firing in the Underdog Pick'em FIFA World Cup lobby?
I just click on Davis's links most days here. I've got really caught up in the World Cup. Like, I don't know what the buzz was like in and around the stadium in Boston there, Pete, but like even on the days where there aren't matches in Vancouver, like the city's on fire, man. And there's like a super good, I guess multicultural environment in Vancouver. So there's fans of like every nation every day. It's really cool. So I've been getting swept up in it in terms of like the fantasy angles and knowing what to play and that sort of deal. Absolutely not. I have no idea. But I've been really enjoying it nonetheless.
Well, I was tilting a little bit just because, so I'm sitting here even the other night, I forget which night it was, and I'm watching Colombia and Portugal, and these guys are playing like their goddamn pants are on fire, just whipping up shots on goal. It's chippy, and I'm like, it was a 0-0 game that was wildly entertaining to watch. Mm-hmm. The game I went to was an absolute snooze fest where Ghana just like packed it in around the net, and England just kind of dicked around with the ball. We had like one fun sequence at the end. So I don't want to be ungrateful. Getting to go to the game, the atmosphere, specifically the pregame, and the English fans taking over Patriot Place there outside of Boston Stadium was very, very fun. But my God, I've had FOMO compared to some of the other games I've seen, and I'm like, I can only imagine what the atmosphere would have gotten to had the play given us something to cheer for. I mean, we had these 3 Ghana ladies behind us who were hilarious. And even they were like, need something to happen. Like something please happen. So yeah, I was even last night, it's like, oh, I went to the wrong game. I think Mac Nova said that to me. Yeah. Because that game went to PKs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. They definitely parked the bus on you, man.
So I mentioned here, you said Davis, I think I found his link in the Discord. He made one. And then I have this USA discount. Which USA player should I toss on to this?
Oh, everyone was saying the pass attempts, right? In the Discord. Yeah.
I think for what's his name here? So one of those guys, Pete, that you have in your pick'em right now, his match already started.
Oh, which one? I'll get rid of it.
Diamande. You have Diamande in there?
Oh yeah, you're right. That just started 20 minutes ago. Good call.
They told me Anthony Robinson discounted passes is where it's at.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the one.
So we'll use this is all complaints. Send them to Davis for Plata, higher 1.5 shots attempted. Mbappe 1 goal, and then we're going to use the Anthony Robinson here in the discount. So thank you, Davis, in the Discord for helping us workshop this. Make sure you guys use your Team USA discount. I will drop it in the regular chat, even the private chat, because I am in peak in-season mode right now.
There we go, baby.
Before I go, that actually reminds me, did you take umbrage to the Matic tweet about Canada's soccer style? Did you see this one that did some numbies yesterday?
Oh, I did not see this.
Oh, this is just good John bait right here for sure.
Oh no.
Here you go. React in real time. Maybe I just don't know what I'm watching, but Canada is shockingly non-technical, like extremely low quality on or with the ball compared to the USA or even teams like the Ivory Coast or Sweden. Your thoughts, John?
I mean, like, he's probably not wrong because there is very low level talent sprinkled amongst like 5 guys who could play at the international level or do play at the international level. But I would push back that it changed drastically, and then the possession changed drastically as soon as Davies came on the pitch. And that really that made it look different. But like, yes, there's no denying that this is will, heart, aggression, and spirit kind of football. This is not technically proficient, extremely well coached. Marsh is just pulling all the right levers with the personnel he has. It's not pretty or amazing to watch. It's not great. Hey, touch and keep the ball in front of you. It's glorified MLS out there. I'm not going to lie. So yes, we have 3 players that can do anything internationally. But yes, it's I won't push back too hard, but it is a little rage baity.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's what we do around here. Nez, John, any other final words here? Don't have time to sneak in another draft, unfortunately, but I think as always, we'll toss it out to the people. Let us know in the comments. What do you guys want to see from us next week? We'll be coming off of the long holiday weekend here, always down to mix it up in the Underdog lobby. Anything else people should know on your guys' end?
We got MLB coming up right after this. I'll just basically push right into that. So it's a little bit earlier than usual. And then Nez is going to take over tomorrow, Canada Day up here. So Nez is going to be doing members only baseball tomorrow. And then Nezzy's going away for the 4th. So I'll be holding it down on Thursday and Friday. I'm going to do football on Thursday and the short MLB slate, and then do a full Frenchie Friday plus MLB on Friday for the people there. So programs are going nowhere, but it's just going to be a one-man operation for the remainder of the week.
There you go, Nez.
Yep. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I am heading to a family reunion for my wife's side of the family. So we are taking a flight. Got like 3 big beach houses. There's going to be a ton of us there. Huge itinerary, a color-coordinated photo shoot. It's going to be so fun, so cute. Yeah, going to be hot as hell.
Beige pants and linen tops.
Off-white. Bone or off-white for the top.
Wow. Close enough, baby. Close enough.
You don't want to mess up that shade there.
That would be embarrassing.
One of the biggest battles that I fought was for my wedding party. I had like done a lot of research and I had some strong thoughts and like had read up about the groomsmen and the suits that they wear. And there's like a lot of criticisms. And again, apologies if people have done this. Everyone does this, but it's just like everyone wears the exact same suit, the exact same thing. And I saw someone make a criticism where it's like, you don't want to look like tiny little toy soldiers up there, whatever. Like, it's okay if it's not the same thing. And so I really felt empowered by this kind of criticism. And I told my groomsmen, navy blue suit, I don't care, like whatever. And boy, when my wife and my mother-in-law got wind that I was letting them pick out their own suits, boy, did I have a battle on my hands. But guess what? It all worked out. It looked great. They were different, but not in a way that was distracting. And I'm glad I held the line. Let the fellas get the suit that they want, that they can then wear or take back or do whatever. But that was a dangerous battle to fight.
So I tried to die on the same hill. And I got shown all the pictures of how blues aren't the same blues. And this was so-and-so's wedding and that was so-and-so's wedding. So then I got bullied into, okay, you have to buy them suits all gray, all whatever. So I ended up after saying, hey, you guys can wear whatever gray suit you have. Then my wife was like, no, that's not happening. Go buy them suits immediately now and make up for your mistake kind of thing. So I got bullied. I got bullied before the actual event. But hey, there's no photos to remember it, Pete. So it's all good, man. It's all good.
Oh man, wow. That is a sad callback.
I know,
John lost all of his or the majority of your wedding photos. Brutal, dude. Brutal. All right. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Enjoy your soccer. Make sure you guys are members over on the Badge Bros channel. If you guys want access to all of those members only streams, all the sports, all the goodness, you got to get subscribed over there. We are here every Tuesday, noon Eastern. As far as my schedule, the rest of the week, it's a busy one here, packing a lot in before the holiday weekend. We got the Swolecast at 3 p.m. Eastern. We got the BBG stream. Looking forward to hanging with my guy, the best ball guy, 4 p.m. ADP chasing tonight. The fellas, I think, are going to go through some of their favorite and least favorite stacks and stack pricing on Underdog. One programming note, moving the best ball bash up to tomorrow because I'm going to be out of the office on Thursday, same time, noon Eastern. And then we're going to roll right into a ship chasing. We're actually going to do a best ball draft on FFPC. If you guys want to watch us do some tight end premium cranking purple. And then the finale of BBG week, Thursday night, a little after dark. I'm not even going to be at my house. I'm going to be over at my in-laws, which means I might even pop a Modelo for a nice little intimate conversation with Mr. BBG.
All right.
Yeah, really letting my hair
Beach
down.
vibes. I love it.
Beach vibes, dude. Yeah, once I get my surfer bro BBG in the saddle, we got to throw a few back. Great show today. And we will see you guys next time on Off and on the Clock. Peace.